So I'm moving to Japan.
What? You didn't tell me.
I know. It just happened.
When you're moving to Japan? Why are you moving to Japan? How are you moving to Japan? Where?
Tokyo. Drake's
Okay.
job. And within the next month, sometime in October.
Oh my word, it's too quick.
I know.
So moving to Japan for your man. I didn't say husband. For your husband. For how long?
6 to 8 months.
Okay. That's a nightmare.
Yes.
But, MumbleCast listeners, don't worry. We've got you covered to some degree. We'll somehow try and keep these coming.
Yes.
So Japan. That's lucky, because I heard it could have been a couple of other places.
It could have, yes.
Which would have been worse. For example, South Korea.
Yes.
In fact, even Japan's pretty bad right now with
I know.
what North Korea getting up to.
I know. Italy would have been the top option.
Yeah, Italy would have been nice.
Yeah.
And it's near to Europe and you can travel all about Europe, even though you've done that already. Because this is the second time you've left home for Drake. Oh
I
God,
know.
Drake. I wonder if you listened this far in or if we just mumbled too much for you. I'll cut that out.
Leave it.
Okay, well, Japan's not too bad. I think it's probably, out of those choices that you had, that's probably maybe my second choice.
It was my second
Maybe
choice
even my
too.
first choice.
Second.
I don't care much for
Pizza.
Italy. Well,
Wine.
pizza's great. I don't like fish, so.
Fish in Japan.
That's true. So, I guess we're going to speak a little bit of Japan.
Yeah.
Alright, so before we get started, the dog's going to go attack us. That's better. Okay, so for this episode, I think we're going to speak a little bit of Japan.
Yeah.
Alright, so then, let's get
ready
ready to
to
mumble.
All right. What do you know about Japan?
Well, I think we'll maybe pretense this. Is that right?
Yes.
Pretense this by saying we've done no research for this one. We wanted the idea is that we're going to go through this podcast just saying what we think we know about Japan, and then once Kayla comes back in 8 months' time, we will go over new stuff we know about Japan and what we found out, and about if any of what we're saying now is true or if it's a bit exaggerated, being the Western view on Japan.
Sounds good.
Yep. Okay. So, straight up facts that we know straight at the top of our heads about Japan. I know it has about 130 million people. For such a small place, it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
I know that much. And I know they're very sort of hyper-populated cities. Because Japan's like imagine it's like a big triangle. Like the whole islands are big triangles, and they can only really live on the outskirts of those triangles, like the edges beside the sea, because no one can really live in the mountains. So I know it's like really dense populated, like outskirts of the island, essentially. Mm-hmm. I know that much about Japan.
I know it's an island.
It's a couple of islands, I think there's about
Yes.
3 or 4 big ones. And the capital's Tokyo, which you mentioned, which I think has something like 2 or 3 million people in itself. No, must be more than that. Surely the capital must have more than 2 or 3, maybe like 20?
I have no
Out of the
idea.
150? Yeah, it's got a lot of people in it anyway. Super, super, super populated. And I know that it is known as the land of the rising sun. And that's because obviously the sun rises in the east and it's out to sea for them, and for us I guess it's, I don't know, that's what it's called. And I know that they have a very long and kind of known heritage. We'll talk a little bit more about that, I'm sure, in a minute. And what about other basic things? They've got one big tall mountain which everyone knows, Mount Fuji, which is like 3,000 feet or meters tall, one or the other. I'm not sure, maybe just over 3,000. I'm going to say meters, but that might be way up. No, because that'd be like 9,000 feet. Is that right?
I don't know.
It's got a tall one, and that's really, it's one that has like the really, it's like almost like a dead triangle, and it's like snowy and like really quite obvious. Nice pictures of it. And I know that they have lots of volcanoes and like 40 active volcanoes, which is cool. And that they have earthquakes quite a lot. They had one in 2011, which like killed a shit ton of people. Like 200,000 people or something. It was crazy. I think it was that many. I hope I'm not exaggerating that. And lots of other stuff. Okay, so, well, tell me what you know. That's kind of the base of what I know. I can go into other stuff in a minute, but...
I mean, that's kind of all I know, too. I know food. They eat a lot of sushi. I love sushi, so pretty excited about that.
Not a big fan of sushi.
I know.
You know what? I tried it
fish.
though. I told Drake like 4 or 5 months ago, okay, I'll try sushi, and I never did until
You did?
about a week ago, week and a half ago, and I was just wandering through Kroger, the local supermarket. I went past the sushi bit. I was like, okay, I'll try some, but I don't want to try the salmon. And I was like, what else is this? Tuna. So I had tuna wee bits, but I didn't have the ones with the rice. For some reason, I had like a bit of tuna with cucumber wrapped around it, and then what was in the middle? Avocado in the middle. I was like, this is probably as close to not being sushi as I could get. So I tried them, and they were nice. They were fine. They were like,
All right.
just like but there was about 6 of them, and it cost me about 12 quid. It was ridiculous. I was like, nom 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 nom. I was like, yeah, okay, let's make dinner now. So I was maybe not going about it the right way, and I didn't dip it in the sauce you get with it.
Yeah, I don't like the sauce.
I think the sauce is, I don't know, but
What don't you like? Like, what don't you think you would like about sushi? Like, real sushi?
fish.
But you like the tuna, so...
But tuna doesn't taste like fish.
Okay, but if you had, like, the normal sushi with the rice and the seaweed...
Yeah, I probably
flavor.
would like that. What I don't like is how they like place a nice bit of salmon on top and like eat that, or crab. I'm like,
No.
those are fishy and
I
mean. I
don't
don't like
those
them.
either.
Yeah, but the rest of it is probably fine. And I don't like the fact that it's super expensive. I'm a cheapskate.
I
I'm
would
Scottish.
agree with you on that.
I'm like, what the hell is it? So there's one called in UK called Yo Sushi, and I don't know how accurate it is compared to Japan. I bet I made that mistake more than once. This thing, and it's like £12 for like a small bowl of something weak, and I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I can justify paying that.
Yeah. Sushi's expensive.
There's one in Edinburgh Airport, and a couple of times I've gone with my friends, and just before we got on a plane, they'll go grab a couple of bowls off the Ferris wheel, whatever it is. I know it's not a Ferris wheel. And then I'm forking up with like 50, 60 quid. I'm like, what? I could get a steak for that. Even in the UK, I could get a steak for that.
Sushi's expensive.
But they do love fish. They have it's something ridiculous, like 3 billion tons of fish a year or something they eat. Apparently they eat like it's something like 40% of the world's fish or something like that. It's something ridiculous how much fish they eat.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start liking fish a lot more than I do.
But there'll be so many various types of fish, and it's just and it's everywhere. You will have to be a little bit cautious of where you go, because fish is a bit risky to eat. You're going to have to try puffer fish.
I don't want to try fish.
It's probably
I'm
super.
good.
It's like that I would hate, because that's like a slither. Because the puffer fish obviously is like, I don't know what the fish are actually called, but it's got the poisonous glands that people cut up and eat. And yeah, it's only like a very small segment of the actual fish itself, and if you don't get the right bit, you can paralyze the eyes. Have you ever seen the Simpsons episode with it?
I think so.
Yeah, like that. That's good. Anyway, but yeah, what other delicacies are the food there? Like shark fin soup? Is that Japan?
Is it? I don't know.
I remember seeing those those pictures where you like got all these fins cut off with these sharks on a boat. And I think it's Japan.
I don't know.
They love to fish.
Yeah.
And whale. They were really bad for like whaling, going out and just killing lots of
that?
whales. Now I think they have some sort of heritage clause type thing where, because they've done it for so long, it's part of their culture, so they can like do a certain amount in a year. But I think it's getting to the point where like they're doing too much still. But yes, you will have to definitely get into the fish. There's a whole lot of fish going on.
Wonderful. I don't really like fish that much. I like it a little. Like, I like sushi enough, but not like I can
Every day.
Americanize sushi.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think I don't know how much other types of food they eat. Now I know they eat everything else. Well, funny fact about some of the food they eat, or I hear this. I don't know how true this is. This could be another Western fact, but I hear that for a lot of people, or at least some people, 130 million is a big percentage. But on Christmas Day they have KFC. Like, not even just fried chicken, they have KFC fried chicken. Specifically from KFC, which I think is a weird food thing to have on Christmas.
That's
But for
strange.
some reason that's a bit of a tradition for some people.
Yeah. I know they eat ramen a lot.
That's just noodles, right? Noodle soup,
Yes.
essentially. Yeah, okay. I think I've had ramen once here,
I have never had ramen.
and I have no idea what it's actually like. But I like noodle soup, I
Yeah.
guess. Noodles are good.
I don't think I'm gonna get hibachi there.
Hibachi. What's hibachi again?
Like benihana.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna get that type of
No?
food there.
Probably not. I think that was a very American version of
Yes.
what it is. I don't even... Well, they must eat rice. but maybe
Yeah.
not fried rice. Like it'll be all boiled rice.
Probably.
Do they use chopsticks in Japan?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a thing, right? It's not just a
Yes.
Chinese thing.
So I may starve because I'm not very good at chopsticks.
Yeah, you'll come back. You'll be amazing.
Maybe.
You'll be like, only.
Or I can just take forks with me.
Yeah, I'll just take
Pack
forks.
my travel
Just,
fork everywhere
you
I
should
go.
get like a flat pack fork. I'm sure you get these flat pack forks so you can put it into like a credit card and put it in your wallet.
Yes.
I'll have to try and find you one of them before you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Why do they use chopsticks?
That's a great question. That's something I don't know. You can try and find out when you're there.
Okay.
I wonder. Maybe it's just because they must have had forks. They're definitely knives.
Yeah.
So why chopsticks? Because it's not easy eating ramen with chopsticks,
No.
is it?
Or like rice, an individual piece of rice. Like when you have a big
Yeah.
bowl, that's fine. But once you get
Sushi
to
is
the
fine
bottom,
because it's like a square, a
Yes.
circle. That's but yeah, the bottom of rice is just so difficult. I find myself like patting it together, try and make a block of rice and eat it that way.
or like
But
stabbing
if it's
it.
perfectly cooked, yeah, I'll stab it. Yeah,
It'll be interesting.
I know how these wee small bowls.
Maybe you just like pick it up to your mouth and just like.
Just yep. Oh, just chuck it in. Well, you want? I think they probably do it that way because apparently another thing I heard. I've got so many weird facts about Japan. I don't know anyone that's been there. Apparently, slurping your food is like a compliment.
Okay.
So like if you just slurp it, or like, sorry, I know it's gross on the microphone. That's meant to be like a sign of not a sign of respect, but like saying you're enjoying the food.
Huh.
So you should do that.
Okay.
I'm not saying go to
I will
Japan.
make
The
sure I
first
do
thing you do
that
is like
every-
yum, 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 and
every
make all the noises.
I'm just gonna put my face inside of the plate.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But no, I think that the food is one thing I would definitely notice straight away. I was like grateful for the fact that when I came to America, it's pretty much the same food as the UK.
Yeah.
And even now, it's the second biggest thing I moan about after, a third thing maybe after the weather and traffic.
Yep. The bacon.
So I think Japan will probably be very similar that way. Bacon, let's not get me started. Sorry, bacon is fat. But yeah, the food will be. I don't know. Do people eat in or out? I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm a
because
little worried
here,
about the food.
Houston's completely different to the rest of the world in the fact that everyone eats out all the time here. But I would assume Japan must eat in.
Yeah.
Oh, you should definitely take like sushi cooking lessons. There must be some of them somewhere.
A sushi. I will do that. 100%.
Yeah, that'd be good. You can come back and make us sushi.
Yep.
I'll have to
That
make
means
you
gotta
haggis
like
sometime.
sushi.
Ugh. If you can make me tuna sushi,
Okay.
or like just replace this fish for chicken, but
Okay.
cooked chicken.
Okay, so we had a friend who lived in Japan, and she ate sashimi chicken.
So that one's like this is like fried for split seconds, right?
I think it was raw, because
Yeah.
sashimi fish is raw.
Yeah, that's true. Well, sashimi beef, I know they've literally just splash fried it. It's like
Yeah, this is like the cook had a chicken in front of her and was cutting it.
I get this about chicken because I'm pretty sure like before I was born, people want that up with chicken needs to be this and that, and I don't know if somehow maybe with all the sort of GMOs and stuff we put into chicken nowadays that it holds bacteria better or whatever, because I'm pretty sure I never used to, like my mum and dad never had to worry about getting E. coli or whatever it is you get from chicken nowadays. So maybe in Japan they do it right.
Yeah, they just like go out and get the chicken and
Slice it up.
cut it up for you right there.
Yeah, I'd maybe avoid that one as well. But then
Yeah, I'm
again,
not
if
eating that.
if they're all eating it,
I'm not trying that.
I'm gonna try it.
No.
I guess I probably wouldn't want to try it either. Do they have lots of beef there?
Yeah, they have
Oh, they have the
Kobe,
Wagyu.
Wagyu.
No, is it Wagyu the right name? Or is it Kobe beef?
They have both.
Yeah, both. So, guys who don't know what this is, well, this is what I've been aware it is. Again, this is us just speculating, so we're going to have lots of wrong things here. But I've been told, I think it's Kobe beef I'm thinking of, and I think Wagyu's another type. But it's essentially like really highly marbled beef. So essentially, it's a fat as hell cow. And I've even read some places that they feed cows all this sort of crap junk food and beer even to get them all fat and have like no muscles whatsoever and just be sort of, you know those chicken coops you see as chickens in? It's like that but of cows. So they're just blubber, and that's where you get these apparently really rich marbly beef steaks, which I don't like. I want meat. I don't eat fat. I've been to a couple of steakhouses here that provide it, and it's like the super expensive one, and everyone's like, "Ooh, let's try this fancy bit." I'm like, no, I'll save my $100, thank you, and have a normal bit of beef which tastes good. And that won't go straight to my arteries.
Yeah.
But they must have it then. But Yeah, I didn't. It was weird because I don't consider Japan having beef, but they must do.
Yeah, they're really big on. I think it's both Kobe and Wagyu.
Yeah, I really want to research it, but I'm determined not to. So you can inform me of all the
There's
weird stuff
another
after.
place that I've seen like in my preliminary moving research, not in this podcast research. And it's I can't remember the name of it, but basically you like pay a certain amount of money, and it's all you can eat and drink you pay for a time period. It's all you can eat and drink in that time period.
Oh.
So I'm kind of excited about that.
That's an interesting way because we have all you can eat here and in the UK, but that's unlimited time. But limiting the time is definitely a better way of doing it. It's like you get I wonder if you get like a card, and like you can only access the food with like a scan of the card, and the card runs out of time. That seems like a technical thing they would have over there. What other food things do they have in Japan? They have whiskey.
Yes.
They have not a lot of whiskey, but they have some interesting whiskies. I think they're the second biggest distributor, maybe even the top biggest distributor of whiskies after Scotland. I can't remember if they took over Scotland's reign of being the biggest distributor or not.
I'm not sure.
I've
looked at a lot of distilleries though.
Yeah. I'm assuming they're going to be a lot more high tech. Have you ever been to a distillery in Scotland? So a lot of them are very basic, but not in a good way. In the fact that it's just what they've done for years, and somehow they manage to produce thousands of bottles a year, a week. But I'm assuming the ones over there must be a bit more fancy.
I don't know. I'm excited to go try it.
I wonder if they had whiskies before Scotland was introduced into whiskies, or if they just. They probably did.
Because then they had sake.
Yeah, so
that's probably first.
What's sake?
I don't know. I know it's hot.
Hot?
You can have cold or hot.
Oh, like warm. Okay, yeah, it's like tea hot. Yeah, possibly. I've never had any.
I've never had any.
I think it's just like alcohol made from rice and rice grain type stuff, and water probably. But I don't know what it tastes like. Probably not very good. I can't imagine it tasting that good.
It doesn't sound like it tastes very good. Hot rice water.
Yeah.
It's like coffee being hot bitter water.
Yeah, coffee. Both Kayla and I are determined to kind of rid the world of coffee. Yep. It's a losing battle, but we're determined to beat it. Yes, food-wise, I can't think of much else.
Green tea.
Do they have green tea over there?
Yeah.
Do they have a lot of tea over there? I assume they
a lot of tea,
I guess.
And they have like tea ceremonies.
You don't really think of Japan. Oh, well, you think of the Japanese tea rooms, I guess, yeah. That's from a video game. What video game was it? Like Shogun Total War or something like that? I remember having Japanese tea rooms because that would help you get the geishas.
Okay. Geishas?
Yeah. Okay, well, so the Japanese history is really interesting. Like, I don't know much about it at all.
Very much at all.
The main thing that the Western world knows about Japanese history is samurais, geishas, some stuff about the sort of the emperors, and that's about it, really. Yeah. I know the samurai were around between like the 1100s to 1800s. Okay. Like the proper samurai, and they weren't actually the military or anything. They're almost like mercenaries, like people for hire and stuff. Like they would, like, people who owned land would hire samurai to protect their land and them.
Were samurais and ninjas the same thing?
No, so samurais were like the battalion, the warriors, the full-front warriors. Where ninjas were more, again, general knowledge from taken from all the pop culture stuff, were like spies essentially. Okay. And they were sort of highly skilled, trained, stealthy things where your samurai would be the ones who'd be the forefront of the battles and stuff. Okay. And the samurais would have more honor, I guess, than the ninjas. And then you had geishas, which were like... So have you seen Memoirs of a Geisha? It's a cool movie. But the geishas are like the women with the white faces and done up real neat and tidy and sort of 100% covered, and in those wee small shoes. And often they were used to sort of as spies as well, to like spy on high wealthy businessmen, because they wouldn't suspect the women. Yeah. So they were used as spies and assassins as well, apparently. That could just be from a video game I played, but I'm pretty sure that's right. I don't know. Memoirs of a Geisha was a good film. If you've not seen that, you should watch it. It's long, but it's good. I think it's off a book. The book's probably better, but I don't read, so I don't know. But what is about samurai? They lived by the code, like the honor, something else, and something else. There's like three things that get up their code, but everyone knows about the kind of like the samurai or the honor of the Japanese and the samurai. and they did that thing. They would like I said another Western word they know about when you killed yourself. What was it called? It was like seppuku. I think it's seppuku. I think it's S-poo something. Seppuku. It's when you like, if you dishonored, if you lost in battle or something, you would kill yourself by stabbing yourself and disembowering yourself. That's pretty nasty. But that was, I don't know if that actually ever happened, but it's the thing that the Westerners know about Japan. Yeah. Or the samurai anyway. Some of the samurai outfits are amazing. Like the body armor they had, it wasn't like the greatest. It wasn't metal. It was like all woven leathers and stuff. But that was cool. It always looked badass. Yeah. But they probably thought like the medieval British stuff looked badass. All that metal, clunky armor. I think the samurai looks more badass.
I don't know very much about samurais or ninjas.
I don't know much about ninjas. No. Again, Ninja Turtles. Super Ninja Turtles is like the only thing I really know.
Maybe I can take a ninja class and become a ninja.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You need to get, you should definitely come back as a ninja. If you come back like a sushi making ninja, that'd be awesome.
Yes. Yes. It'd be worth all the time there.
Oh, 100%. Another thing a lot of Westerners love about the kind of samurai side is the swords. Yes. The samurai swords, I think they've got various names. I know the katana is a known name.
That's what Michonne uses on The Walking Dead.
Ooh, I've not watched Walking Dead.
Oh my gosh. She uses a katana. Alright. And it's pretty badass.
So katana is just a single bladed sword, I think. I think it's one-edged sword.
I don't know.
Usually double-handed, like a two-handed sword, but I think Leonardo has like 2 katanas. So maybe not double-handed.
We're talking Ninja Turtles now.
Yes, sorry. It's in relation to Japan. Yeah. Ninja Turtles. That was where I first learned about Japan. They had it in the 1994 movie or something. They went to Japan, I think. Okay. Back in time. I remember I had the action figure and they had the samurai costume on. It was cool.
Who's your favourite Ninja Turtle?
Leonardo, hands down, because he's blue and because he's the leader and because he's the best fighter of a lot of them. Go suck a dick, Michelangelo and Raphael. Donatello, you're not even in question, sorry. He's just no contention. What was it? Because Leonardo was the leader, Michelangelo was a party dude, Raphael was mean or something, and then Donatello was good with machines, and he was like making a coffee out of some hyper-class machine. Anyway, I can't remember the tune exactly, but it was awesome. Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines. Raphael is cool but rude. Give me a break. Michelangelo is the party dude. But yeah, the swords. So Japan are really well known for having like really impressive steel and swords, like blade making skills. Mm-hmm. And they're sort of really intricate. And even now you have people that spend like 3 months making one sword, if not longer. But apparently their steel isn't actually that good just because the iron ore that they get the steel from is like really poor. It's like really not very rich. So they have to fold the steel quite a lot and mold it and play with it a lot to get it to become really good, but because so much work they do into it, they become better type of swords or better steel. So they're not actually got good steel, but they just know how to work the iron to create good steel. Okay. Which is probably more a better skill than actually just having good iron to begin with. But
yeah, because then you can make it from lots of different things.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the swords are pretty. You can see all these sort of weird, mid-20s guys who sit playing Xbox all day. Have got like katanas on their wall, and you're like, wow, you weird. Probably bet the same people that play like Magic the Gathering cards and probably watch and play manga and watch anime.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that stuff is. Anime,
okay,
that's another.
Well, what else can we think about the heritage real quickly before we can move on? I know that it was very Japanese until like an emperors in like the late 1800s or whatever brought in a lot of the Western world, and that's when they brought in Western clothing, Western music, Western machinery, and that's when it sort of moved a bit more to our type of culture, but trying to hold on to their own culture. Okay. And I know things like the World War had a big thing, but we'll maybe talk about that separately in a little bit, because that changed the face of Japan, I think, quite dramatically. Yeah. So what were we going to say? Oh yeah, the manga and anime. So do you know what the difference between manga and anime is?
No.
Do you know what they are in general?
They're like comics-ish?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
So Oh my god, I'm going to sound like a big Japanese geek. I'm literally just spouting things I've heard in my lifetime. It's like me telling you what I know about Japan, and then you're going to come back and
I told you I don't know very much.
and then reverse it, and then you're going to teach me how
Yes.
much things I know wrong. So manga is like the written form. It has to be like a book, essentially, like a storyboard cartoon. And anime is live action, like a cartoon. That's the only difference between them, but people get kind of wound up. Oh, it's not anime, it's manga. But Japan has a crazy culture when it comes to anime and manga. Like millions. I think there's millions and millions of books, and apparently due to how much anime they create, they are responsible for 70% of the world's cartoons.
Really?
Just because of the amount of anime that sort of builds up. And like some of like there's a guy, I think one of the most famous ones is a guy called One Piece, who's like a rubber man. He's also a pirate. It's weird. And so there's a whole heap of manga with him. There's also a cartoon, but the mangas have sold like over 100 million books or something.
Oh,
or is it just 1 million books? It's either 100 million or a million, which I know is a massive difference, but essentially it's a lot of books.
All right.
You know, for a comic book anyway, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's where Pokemon came from.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what Pokemon is. Literally everyone in the world.
Yep.
And if you're like me, it like ruled your life for about 4 years when it first came out on the Game Boy. I had Red. What did you have?
I didn't play it on Game Boy.
What did you play on?
I didn't play it. I just got the cards.
Okay, I'll let you away having the cards, but no.
I was all about the cards, though.
No, I was more about the Game Boy and the cartoon, and then the cards. So like, okay, I still have like some framed in my bedroom back in Aberdeen, Scotland, Edinburgh.
I played Mario on the Game Boy instead of, which is also Japanese.
Oh, also Japanese, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo in general. Nintendo's Japanese, which, whoa, is there anything else about anime and manga? I've never read any manga. I've watched some anime. Cartoon Network and Adult Swim has a lot of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, the video games is probably, well, the video games like the biggest business in the world, media type stuff. Outdoes music and film and, well, what else is it now? I don't know, but
yeah.
And Nintendo was a big, well, Japan in general was a big contributor to that back in the 80s, 90s, 70s.
Yeah.
Because you have, what was I really should know the guys' names who created Nintendo. I could just say it in random Japanese names, but I have no idea. It would just
I have no
idea. Yeah, so Mario was a big one. Donkey Kong, the whole Mario franchise. Yoshi. I think it's weird because Mario was based off of like a Western man. You think back then they wouldn't have been based on Western people, because they wouldn't have known it was going to be sold. It was just going to be in him. He was a plumber, which I don't know if it's just a general. Apparently, he's no longer a plumber. Apparently, on the Nintendo website, he's now just like a guy who used to plumb. Now he's just a
so he's a retired plumber?
I guess so. Yeah, he's
right.
moved on. Just in case anyone cared what he used to do. But I think there was other big. There's Capcom. That must be Japan, right? The people that made Street Fighter. No
idea. Never played it.
Well, there's a bunch of others. I'll probably end up getting some mixed up with China, probably. But Japan's the main one, surely.
What is Zelda? Is that?
Zelda's Nintendo, isn't it? It'll be Nintendo / something else, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's like the Final Fantasy series. They must be Japan, surely. Mm-hmm. They're Square Enix. I don't know, but yeah, I think you'd be surprised about how many video games you play that probably all from Japan at some point.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's this like neighborhood in Tokyo that's like the geek neighborhood, and they have like all kinds of old arcades.
Oh, yeah?
People are just like in there playing them. They have like Mario stuff and yeah.
I think arcades are still massive because arcades were never that big in the UK. And I know they were a little bit here, where kids would go and spend their quarters or whatever on arcades. But Japan, it's still a massive industry.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Billions are made through these arcades. And that's like going and doing like the dance machine and like all the other sort of... I would be scared to go. Those guys would be so good at it.
Yeah,
as long as it's
cool
cheap.
Experience. Yeah.
Like back in Britain, it's like $5 to play a good arcade game. You're like, what? For like one life. And you're like, no, not doing that. Yeah, that'd be quite cool to go in town and see those flashing lights on the neon.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. This whole geeky neighborhood thing. And they have cafes there, like one for like anything you could think of. They have like a robot restaurant or a robot show or something like that, and a monster cafe and an owl cafe. Like anything you can think of.
Yeah.
It would be like weird. They have a cafe for it.
See, they've got a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like the culture is so weird. It's so different that it really populates these weird, not even, I don't want to say the word fetishes because that implies, but it's really weird sort of intricacies that they really get really into. Like I know these cafes that you or places you can go where you can like pay a lady or pay to like lie on a lady's lap. Nothing sexual, just lie on their lap or to lie beside them in a bed for like a 30-minute nap. You can pay someone to. It seems so strange.
Yeah.
And you can pay them extras to stroke their hair. And again, nothing sexual, just that. And I'm like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, why is that a thing?
Maid cafes are big there too.
Yeah, I had this. That was it's such a. Like, so we're gonna explain that then.
I don't really know what it is. I just know they're like dressed up as maids. The women are, and you go into this cafe and
I think that's exactly it. They dressed up as like, I guess British maids or
yeah, I guess.
and they like, treat you like they're a maid. I was like, is that not just a waitress? I'm confused.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
it's really like, and I'm sure there's only like a handful of these, and people just make it out as they're all over the shop. But even just to have a couple of them's an odd thing, you know. And they have some hotels that are not rooms. You have like a cubicle. Think of like a coffin, like a big coffin. Or if you've ever seen, you've not seen it. Fifth Element. So Fifth Element, they have a point where they're kind of going to a certain hotel, and to get to the hotel, you have to go in these chambers, and it's exactly like that. But it's like a coffin, a big coffin where you sleep in.
It's just like a bed.
It's like $17 a day or whatever. Which I guess makes sense, especially when you don't have much space. But
yeah, I read somewhere that they made these things. I don't know how true this is, and they were like trying to. They made them so they could be like earthquake-proof places where these people could go if there was an earthquake. But then like it kind of just transformed into these hotels.
Well, I guess if there's no earthquakes, you need to get money in. So I guess that makes sense. But yeah, that doesn't. Hey, if people are paying for it, keep it going. It's grand. But yeah, lots of strange different places.
Yeah, there's a lot of vending machine things too, like vending machines for anything you could think of.
Like anything you can
Yes.
think of. Yes, that thing you're thinking of right there. That. Yeah, and the other thing that kind of goes with that as well.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm looking at the microphone as though I'm speaking to the microphone. Why I'm speaking to the microphone. I know you caught me doing that. I'm sure I heard or I saw on YouTube or something that they used to have vending machines for used underwear.
Yep.
I was like, what the hell is that all about? As I get food and I get shopping and I even get like, I don't know, toys and umbrellas and what else can you get a vending machine? Anything. Well,
anything.
Yeah. But someone, I don't know. There's a lot of tension there, I think.
Yes.
There must be something going on.
Yes.
What else have we got?
Karaoke's big there.
Yes. Do you know what karaoke means?
I know what it is.
I think karaoke means silent orchestra.
Huh.
Do you know how I think I know that?
How?
Which sounds silly. How I Met Your Mother. It's like the 4th episode of the 1st season. Ted's really drunk and someone tells him that. And he goes, oh, that's hauntingly beautiful. And then he goes and tells someone else it, and it's quite a good scene. Anyway, I think that's what it means, silent orchestra. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think it's the same as like karaoke here. So I think it's like, well, I don't know that they're all the same, but what I've been told is you pay for a room, and it's just like you and your friends are in there.
Yeah.
So then it's not like out in the bar where
I
used
think
to do it.
I think traditionally, and I think more places I get like that is what karaoke is. I think it's only here for some reason they like to stick it on a stage in front of the whole world.
The rest of
which is
the
a lot
bar.
more embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, is it? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'd rather sing in front of people I don't know than people I do know. I think we spoke about this.
Yeah.
And yeah, high karaoke is one of the biggest things to do, and it's not considered like here. You'd consider it like a drunk thing to do with your friends, or you wouldn't consider it like the CEO of a big company to go do it. But apparently, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Which is
I'm kind of excited about
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something we've adopted from them. I guess.
Yeah. So, yoga.
Is yoga Japanese?
I think. Oh.
I thought yoga was like Indian or something.
I mean, I know that they do yoga there because they do like meditation and stuff.
They do like
too.
Tai Chi or something. Might be more Japanese than.
I don't know.
Yoga.
I just know there's definitely yoga studios because I've looked for them.
Yes. I think that yes, they're very much about having a calm lifestyle.
Yes.
Well, I say that they apparently work like up to over 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
Some people averaging like a 12 to 18 hour work day. Oh, and also apparently sleeping at your desk is considered a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's implying that you're working hard. Because they have this whole honor system that you don't cheat them, so it's like if you're sleeping at your desk, good job, it means you're working hard. I'm like, that's mental.
Yeah.
They have very little spare time to themselves.
Yeah.
Which I think it's not good culture. They work too hard.
Yeah.
They hold academia way too high.
Yes.
Like apparently there's schools outside school to get more studying in if you don't have time at school, which is so strange. Like after school, go to school to study for school.
Study for school.
Yeah.
That's strange.
I'd hate that.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say about Japan? Ooh, sumo wrestlers. What do you know about sumo wrestlers?
Not much, but I really want to go watch them. But apparently you can't watch them
expensive.
All the time.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's expensive, and you can't it's not just like a all the time sport. It's like very, which makes sense. Like you can't go to like.
Do they have like a season? You mean? They have like a. Oh, dog. So what I hear about sumo wrestlers is, it's a very sort of It's a very sort of strict profession. Apparently, if you're a sumo wrestler, you must always be dressed in traditional dress.
Huh.
Like you always have to have. What the things called? Like the things that I don't know. They always have to be in traditional dress.
Yeah.
And they have to be very sort of regimented in their eating habits and their activities, and it's highly thought upon. And there's a lot of gambling that goes on with it.
Okay.
Japanese love to gamble, apparently.
I
have no idea what the rules are, though.
I don't either. But apparently there's like tournament seasons. So there's one in November, like big ones in November, January. There's like 4 or 5 a year of big ones. And then if you want to see sumo wrestling apart from that, like, sorry.
Yeah?
There's not really many times to see it.
That's tough. Well, luckily you're going in November.
Yeah.
You might catch one or two. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one that's in November is really far away from Tokyo.
Oh, I see. Oh, so it's not as if it's like it's not like a league like
so
all
it's
over
like,
the place. It's just
this one is in this city.
Oh.
And if you want to go watch it, you have to go there.
Oh,
and it's like a 12 to 15 day ordeal. So, but I mean, and then so apart from that, it said that you could go to like these stables and watch them train.
All right, okay.
But you can't, like, as a foreigner, like I couldn't just go. I'd have to get somebody who was fluent in Japanese and probably a native to the country to go take me there. And it costs a lot of money, and then you have to be willing to like sit there quietly on the floor for 2 to 3 hours and watch them train and like not move.
Well, so I'm saying, I think it's very it's crazy. As I imagine, the footballers here had to obey those strict rules. Oh, it'd be mental.
Yeah,
it would be really cool to see, but it'd be like a big commitment for a day or two, or if you have to travel, maybe more.
Yeah, it'd be cool though.
Yeah.
And I think when they're retired, they like cut their hair or something. That's when they can cut their hair.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
That's really odd.
I wonder how they pick the kid that's going to be a sumo wrestler. Because surely they must get picked from a young... Oh, I don't know, actually. Maybe it's just a fatty. That's probably very un-PC of me to say, but...
I was about to say, do they have to be...
Yeah, I don't think you have to be. I think there's like... You see videos of them on like line where it's like a big guy and then a guy who seems a little bit leaner. But maybe that's only in comparison. I'm sure he's still overweight, but... Yeah. I think it's the technique of it. It's a lot more technique to it than just being heavy.
Okay.
It's like the front of the football line. You know, you can't grab, you know, stuff. You can only push and things. I think it's similar to that, but in a lot more confined, sort of a one-on-one type setting. What else do I know about Japan? What other cities in Japan do you know? Tokyo?
Kyoto.
Uh-huh. I don't know if these are cities, but I'm just...
I don't know how to say a lot of them.
I know...
Heikon?
Sure.
I don't know how to say it. Yokohama. You can see Mount Fuji from Yokohama. I know that. Osaka. Okinawa.
It's pretty good. It's more than I know. I think I know literally Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yes. From
the unfortunate events in the 40s, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I probably know a couple more if I'd hear them, but I can't think of the top of my head. Yeah. So Japan is the only country in the world that's been nuked.
Really?
I didn't know that. I thought another place would have been, in an offensive way, not the fact that, you know, Americans have tried nukes out in Nevada or whatever, but have been by another country. So that happened after Pearl Harbor in 1941 or 2 in November. I'm going to say 42. 41 seems early on in the war. Let's say 42 in November. And it killed about 2,000 people in America. So America bombed both Nagasaki and Hiroshima with the fast hydrogen bombs and killed like 200,000 people and left the place devastated and lots of mutations.
Yep.
Good one, USA. That seems fair. And apparently from then on, the US was sort of held parts of Japan. It was sort of under sort of US control for a while. Up until like the 50s or something, apparently, I think. I'm not 100% sure of that. Maybe I have that wrong. And also, I don't know if it's still into force now, but like Japan can't have a military or didn't have a military for a long period of time because the USA wouldn't allow them after the Pearl Harbor. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was pretty devastating.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You can't imagine that. As in, it's a slight worry at the moment with North Korea, but and I'm sure it'll be a lot worse because it's 50 years since that. I'm sure the bombs have gone on quite good since then.
I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah.
And the earthquakes. I'm scared about that too. We have to download an earthquake app.
Oh yeah, just to sort of see when it's like potentially coming.
Yeah, apparently it gives you like a couple of seconds warning.
But to do what? Grab onto something? I don't know.
Hold on.
Yeah. Put a helmet on. You should have like a bicycle helmet.
At all times. Yeah. Always I'm just going to wear my helmet.
Now, is it better to be on the top floor or the bottom floor? Is it better to be on the top floor and fall or the bottom floor and get crushed?
Top floor and fall.
You think?
I don't know.
That sounds a bit right.
That's scary.
I don't know.
I didn't think about that. I was thinking like, all these earthquakes are going to happen when I'm just walking around. Not when I'm at home.
Yeah, they have a lot of earthquakes because they're on the plates. What else do we know about Japan? Come on, there's must be something else we know.
I just recently found out I don't think you can actually ski Mount Fuji.
Oh, can you not? But you can do skiing and snowboarding in Japan.
Yes, but the ski resorts are around the base of the mountain, so you're not actually going down the mountain. Okay. So that's a little sad.
I suppose maybe it's like, what's it called when they kind of not worship, but like a sacred place or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like a sacred. You can hike it, but not when we're there because it's covered in snow.
Oh, of course, because of winter.
Yeah. They have.
Go. You go. I've said way too much. Wow, we totally jinxed each other there. Like twice.
They have these like hot springs called onsens. They're like these baths.
Okay, the head of these.
You haven't?
No.
Well, so there's two different kinds. There's the ones. This is all things I've seen. I don't know if it's 100% true. That these monkeys are in. Oh. That I'm pretty excited to see. Yeah. But then there's also ones like those aren't the like
monkeys. I didn't know Japan had monkeys. Yeah. I mean, I thought so, but yeah,
they're really cool looking. Those aren't. But then there's like these other ones that are these like sacred bath places, and you have to like it's taking a bath in one of these is a huge thing, but they're separated by gender and you have to get completely naked. Everybody else in Japan that wants to take a bath.
It's kind of creepy and weird.
Yeah, but you have to like bathe before you get in it, like completely bathe and wash your hair and everything and be completely clean getting in it. If like a towel drops in it, then like it's considered unclean, and you can't have tattoos going in there.
Oh, so you're not going to go to these?
I don't think I can, unless I can cover them up. I don't know. You also have to get completely naked in them, so that's scary.
Well, if everyone else is completely naked.
Yeah, that's true.
They're all... I suppose you will be the odd one out because you'll be the white one.
Yeah. The only white one in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's
That's kind of
those.
cool.
And then also there's a place where there's like this crater and there's these eggs that, I mean, I don't know, I guess a chicken is laying these eggs somewhere in the crater, but they're like sulfur eggs and they're black.
Oh, I have seen that,
and
yeah.
if you eat them, they're supposed to add 7 years to your life.
Huh.
But you can only eat 2, you can't eat 3. Because if you eat 3, it's bad.
Oh, okay.
But you can add 2, you can eat 2.
Interesting, you'll have to do that. I bet they taste minging, though.
Yeah.
Basically rotten eggs, surely.
I mean, they look like hard-boiled eggs.
To try one?
But they're black.
Don't need 3, though.
No. Only 1.
Because that's 21 years, can't be having that.
No.
Mm-mm.
7 or 14. That's all you can do.
That's fair, I guess. Japanese do have their rules.
Mm-hmm.
What are the religions in Japan? I know Buddhism. What's the other one? Like Shinto? Shintoki?
I don't know.
There's another one which is like a Japanese-based one, which goes back to like before Christ, probably. Shintoki? I don't know, something like that. And then Buddhism, I believe.
I know there's a lot of Buddhist temples and like the monks and everything.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting to go see.
Yeah, well.
Well, cars, they drive on the right side of the road. Oh, as in by right, I mean the left side of the road. No,
so the correct side of the road.
The correct side of the road to me. So us, Japan, Australia, I think I remember saying that in our British thing. So if you get a car out there, you'll have to change sides.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
And Japanese have a lot of cars. Like a lot of Europe. US hasn't totally... Well, Toyota's Japanese, isn't that?
Yes.
That's one of the big ones. I think it's Suzuki. Suzuki sounds Japanese. Mitsubishi, that sounds Japanese. Yeah, so they're all Japanese cars.
Yeah. I will be using trains instead.
Oh yes, because they have super good trains.
Yeah, but also then I don't have to drive. But apparently their public transportation is really good.
Well,
and they have the bullet trains.
Yeah, they have the fastest train in the world, which like travel through magnets or with magnets. And their trains, on average, the trains are 0.6 of a minute late.
That's awesome.
As in like the statistics of the ones that are late are 0.6 of a minute. Everything else is on time.
Yeah.
And apparently, if the train is late, you can get a note or like a receipt that says it was late. So if you go to your boss, well, he was wondering why you're late, it's because you get a note for it. Which seems crazy considering that like the delay and the lateness in trains in the UK. And I don't know what it is in the US, but it's probably the same.
That's so cool. It's like getting like a tardy slip going into school.
Yeah.
I was late today.
And I'm sure have you seen the YouTube pictures? You've got like the train attendants pushing people onto their trains, like squeezing them in like sardines.
Oh god, I do not like crowds, so I am very concerned about this.
I think that's probably mainly at rush hour, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty busy all year round, all day round. There's
a crosswalk somewhere in Tokyo that's like the 1,000-point crosswalk, and it's like a big deal to like go and cross it, and then just like go up in I was given the recommendation to go up in the Starbucks and watch, but just like the amount of people trying to cross this intersection,
that's kind of cool. Like I don't like walking in crowds that size, but that's in the UK and like the US and stuff. There, I think because everyone's so conscious of how they appear and how they are in front of everyone else, no one's going to be banging into you. Everyone's going to be very polite and moving, and they're all sort of walking together rather than some people moving slow, some people moving fast, blah blah blah. And apparently, it's rude to be on your phone in public. So a lot of places they have signs saying like no phone, so nobody's on their phone walking.
Okay.
Everyone has their phones put away, and same with like restaurants. Apparently it's rude to have your phones at a table, so like nobody Snapchats their food or Instagrams their food. Everyone's got their phones put away. I don't know how much Westerners kind of hold on to that, because you think, when I think like maybe it's China as well, maybe I'm just being a bit racist, I always think always got their phones in their hands taking pictures of this and that and peace sign, but I don't know if that's just a very bad generalization, but apparently it's rude. So not going to be anyone on a phone stopping and turning, and that you get here in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to use my phone to Google Map me everywhere, so
yeah, I would.
Or check for earthquakes.
What else is there? Can't think of much else in Japan.
Yeah, I don't know very much more. Oh, I know that in Tokyo there's this fish market, and they do tuna auctions at 3. Well, you have to go at like 3 a.m. to get a spot.
And they auction off tuna.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really big too.
Oh, tuna's massive. Tuna's like the size of this table.
Yeah.
Big ass fish. You wonder how many cans you get one tuna. But surely all the tuna are the same. So I think they auction off individual tuna.
I don't know.
Yes, I suppose they do it with sheep and stuff, and sheep all look the same. So why not?
Yeah.
Godzilla. That's Japanese, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I think Godzilla is a citizen of Japan, even though he's a character, and I think his rights are owned by Japan. So you know how like Fox own Fantastic Four or whatever,
Yeah.
and Marvel, like apparently Japan owns Godzilla, so you have to ask permission from Japan to use Godzilla.
That's funny.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know how true that is, but it sounds about right.
I don't know if I know anything else about Japan.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but that was the whole idea, I guess. Get us out to the top of the head. So that's our view on Japan. Would I want to go? Ugh.
Whatever.
I probably would like to go to Japan. I only know one person who's been to Japan, and that's my mum's friend Joyce. She lived in Japan for a while. She loved it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only person I can think that I know who's been to Japan. I'm sure there's one or two other people I know that like travel there for a couple of days or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be good. You're going to enjoy it. You'll enjoy it more than you're worrying about, I think.
I don't know. We'll see.
You will. People are going to be super jealous. Definitely. Think of all the people here that have to stay in Houston. Ugh.
But Houston's great.
Houston's fine, but it's not Tokyo. To say you've lived in Tokyo, that's cool.
It's going to be
cool.
Yes.
Where was it you were going to go to Italy? I bet it wouldn't have been Rome. It wouldn't have been Florence. Or,
Milan.
Okay, Milan's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Germany wouldn't have. Germany would be like Frankfurt or something crap.
Munich.
Germany and Munich's not very good. That's boring as.
Yeah.
So Tokyo's pretty high up there.
Yes.
If there was like 5 places in the world, I was like, oh, you should go live here for a while. Tokyo would probably be in the top 5.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know where else it'd be. I know Tokyo would have to be in there somewhere. Where else would be there? Maybe New York, but I'm not really cared about New York that much. But probably if it's going to be in the top 5. Where else in the world would I say good to go live? Maybe where in Australia should I go live? Melbourne? I don't know. I don't know why I'm going through this 5 list. Just Tokyo would definitely.
Oh, you
be
still
up
have
there.
2 more to go through.
Oh god, I can't think of any. I've already lost count. Hong Kong? No, that's just like. Is that just like Tokyo? Is that really bad to say? Very busy. Fish. I don't know. No idea. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. There's 2 more Edinburgh. Let's go live back in Edinburgh again. Alright, what are you looking forward to most about Japan?
Oh god. Not ready for this question.
Yeah, just sprung it upon you.
Honestly, people would come visit.
No, it can't be the answer.
Why?
People outside Japan cannot be an answer to this question.
Yes, they can.
What out of the things we've spoken about today most interest you then?
Sharing these experiences with the people that come
What about the things we've said today most interest you?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll give you options. You can either choose, are you most looking forward to the food, the scenery, the interesting social environment that you get placed in, the Mount Fuji, or the cherry blossoms, even though we didn't mention that, but I just saw it on the thing that we had to talk about that we weren't going to say what we're going to talk about. The food,
Yes.
yeah. I think you just copped out there and just chose the first one, but okay,
No, I didn't.
I'll
I am very into food. And although I'm a little scared about like what it's going to entail,
yeah.
I love food.
No one's died that often from it, so I'm sure we'll be fine.
I just want to eat the pufferfish.
And the thing you're least looking forward to about Japan, not about leaving.
I can't say leaving people.
No, you can't say leaving people.
Why?
Because
Probably with crowds.
yeah, the crowds would be pretty daunting. However, there will be small people. You'll be like a tall one there, surely.
Yes, a giant.
Yes, you'll be like the foreigner.
Mm-hmm.
Even I think it's quite well. Apparently, before we head on that, in fact, apparently Japan, very few people move to Japan, and apparently the population is something like 99 or 98% Japanese. That's incredible, considering the US is maybe 70% American, if that, probably less than that. And the UK is probably about 60-70% British. which I think is phenomenal. Imagine having your population. Well, I think it's just really interesting. 99% being. I wonder if that means it's hard to get a citizenship, or if it's just, I don't know. Either way, it's kind of interesting.
So I really will be like the only one.
And another one. They're one of the only countries in the world, like big Western countries, that's had a population decrease. And they had a decrease of 7% or something, no, 0.7% of the population, which doesn't sound much, but apparently it's about 1 million people.
Oh, wow.
So in the last couple of years, they've dropped their population by like 1 million people, which is quite impressive. Apparently it's because women and men don't get on in that country very well, and like they're against like a large apparently it's like 18 to 30-year-old women, about 40% of them saying they're not interested in men. Which, I don't know, there must be something weird going on.
Yeah.
Something in the water. Or in the sushi.
In the sushi.
The sushi.
That's it.
Alright, cool. Well, that pretty much rounds us up almost at an hour. Minus my editing, maybe a little bit less. But, and there's some dog barking.
Yep.
But, okay, well, I think you'll have a great time in Japan. You will be missed, but it'll be good. As I said, MumbleCast listeners, we are going to still have a couple of these backlogged for you to keep you entertained. And we're going to try and do a couple of, maybe even try a Skype one at one point.
Yes.
Which might be quite complicated, but
we can do it.
We can try to figure something out. Anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Alright, okay, well, I've been Liam. Oh wait, before we go, Instagram and Twitter, come on, somebody who's got to the end of this episode. I'm giving you don't even have to listen to the whole hour. This is less than an hour now. At the MumbleCast, either one, send us something so we feel loved.
Please, we even ask questions. We're making it easy to communicate.
What question have we asked today?
The last one was my joke, and nobody responded to it. Actually, it was responded to on Facebook.
Oh, was it? I didn't see that.
Yes, it was hilarious. The joke was, what cryptide is the most messy?
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Me.
Nope. Yep.
Now with my Roomba is dead clean. So, I think I'll have you know. Yes, okay, reply saying you're a fact that we don't know what we've not mentioned about Japan. An interesting fact. Or, yeah, that'll do.
Or something we got wrong. We don't really care.
Yeah, send Kayla something so she's got something to look forward to about Japan. Alright, cool. Bye.
Bye.